Hello, my friends. Welcome back to English Edge. Today, we have an incredible story about Mahatma Gandhi, one of the most inspiring leaders in history. As you listen, you'll improve your listening skills and discover new vocabulary. Gandhi's life was full of challenges, wisdom, and powerful lessons. So, sit back, relax, and let's explore his journey together. Mahatma Gandhi was born on October 2nd, 1869, in a small town called Porbandar, in what is now Gujarat, India. His full name was Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, but people later started calling him Mahatma, which means great soul. Let's begin with his childhood. Mohandas was born in a Hindu family. His father, Karamchand Gandhi, was an important government official in Porbandar, and his mother, Putlibai Gandhi, was a very religious woman. Putlibai was a loving mother who followed strict religious practices like not eating for certain periods and praying regularly. Her simple way of life and deep faith in God made a big impact on young Mohandas. As a child, Gandhi was quiet and shy. He wasn't very strong or brave. In fact, he was afraid of many things, including the dark. But he was very curious and always wanted to learn new things. He loved listening to stories from Indian holy books, like the Ramayana and Mahabharata, which taught him about being truthful and behaving well. When Gandhi was about 13 years old, he got married to Kasturba Gandhi, a girl who was also 13. This was normal in India at that time, but it was still a big change in young Gandhi's life. He often said that he learned many things from Kasturba because she was strong and independent, and she supported him throughout his life. After finishing school in India, Gandhi decided he wanted to become a lawyer. In 1888, when he was 18, he went to London, England to study law. It was his first time leaving India, and he faced many difficulties. He had trouble speaking English well and getting used to British culture. He felt alone and missed his family, but he didn't give up. While in London, Gandhi learned a lot about Western ideas, but he also stayed true to his Indian roots. He started eating simple vegetarian food, following what his mother had taught him. During this time, Gandhi began reading books about different religions like Hinduism, Christianity, and Islam. These books helped him understand that all religions teach love and truth. Gandhi finished his law studies in 1891 and came back to India. He hoped to become a successful lawyer, but things didn't work out as he planned. He was shy and nervous in court, and he found it hard to argue cases. It seemed like his dream of becoming a great lawyer wasn't going to come true. In 1893, when Gandhi was 24, he got a job offer from South Africa. A businessman from Gujarat named Dada Abdullah needed a lawyer for his business and asked Gandhi to help him. Gandhi said yes, thinking he would only stay for 1 year, but he didn't know that this trip would change his whole life. When Gandhi reached South Africa, he saw something he had never seen before: racism. South Africa was ruled by the British at that time, and there was a clear difference in how white people and people of color, including Indians, were treated. Indians were treated badly and faced unfair treatment everywhere. One of the most famous things that happened to Gandhi was soon after he arrived in South Africa. He was traveling by train from Durban to Pietermaritzburg. Gandhi had a first-class ticket, but when a white passenger saw him, he complained to the railway staff. The staff told Gandhi to move to the third-class compartment because he wasn't white. Gandhi said no. He told them, "I have a proper first-class ticket. Why should I move?" But the railway staff didn't care. They threw him off the train at a station in the middle of the night. It was cold, dark, and very embarrassing. Gandhi sat alone at the station, thinking deeply. This event changed him. he realized that this wasn't just his problem. It was the problem of all Indians and people of color living in South Africa. They were being treated unfairly, and no one was standing up for their rights. Gandhi decided he couldn't stay quiet anymore. After what happened on the train, Gandhi started looking more closely at how things were in South Africa. He saw that Indians couldn't vote. They had to carry special papers with them all the time, and nobody respected them. Gandhi began talking to the Indian community and bringing them together to fight against unfair treatment. But what made Gandhi different was that he believed in not using violence. He didn't want to fight back with anger or force. Instead, he believed in using truth and peaceful protest. He called this way of fighting Satyagraha, which means the power of truth. For the next 21 years, Gandhi stayed in South Africa and led many peaceful protests against unfair treatment. Here are some important things that happened during this time. 1. Burning of the passes. In South Africa, Indians had to carry special papers to prove who they were. Gandhi organized a protest where people burned these papers to show they didn't accept this unfair rule. This was one of the first peaceful protests that Gandhi led. 2. The Tolstoy farm. Gandhi believed that living a simple and honest life was important. He started a community called the Tolstoy farm, where people lived together, worked hard, and followed his ideas about peace and truth. 3. The March Against Injustice. In 1913, Gandhi led a big march with thousands of Indians to protest against unfair laws. The march was peaceful but powerful, and it made people notice how badly Indians were being treated in South Africa. During his time in South Africa, Gandhi changed completely as a person. He became stronger, wiser, and more determined to fight against unfair treatment. He also started living very simply. He wore plain clothes, ate simple food, and focused on helping others. In 1915, after living in South Africa for 21 years, Gandhi came back to India. He was 45 years old and had already become well known because of his work in South Africa. But now he wanted to help his own country. India was under British rule, and people were suffering a lot. They had to pay high taxes, many were very poor, and they didn't have freedom. Gandhi knew he had to do something. When Gandhi came back to India, he didn't jump into politics right away. Instead, he spent the first few years traveling around the country. He visited small villages, talked to farmers, and saw how ordinary people lived. Gandhi saw that most Indians were very poor. They didn't have enough food, clean water, or proper clothes. Farmers had to pay high taxes to the British even when their crops failed. Gandhi felt very sad seeing how people suffered and decided that he would spend his life helping them. One of Gandhi's first big protests in India happened in Champaran, a place in Bihar. The farmers there were forced to grow indigo, a plant used to make blue dye, instead of food crops. Even worse, they got very little money for their hard work. The farmers were hungry, and they couldn't do anything about it. In 1917, Gandhi went to Champaran to understand their problems. The British tried to stop him, but Gandhi didn't give up. He stayed in the villages, talked to the farmers, and collected proof of how badly they were being treated. Gandhi then led a peaceful protest against the British, asking for better treatment for the farmers. This protest worked, and finally, the farmers were allowed to grow food instead of indigo. This was Gandhi's first big success in India, and it showed that peaceful protest could work. During this time, Gandhi worked hard to bring Hindus and Muslims together in India. One example of this was when he supported the Khilafat movement in 1919. This movement was started by Muslims who wanted to protect their religious leader, the Caliph of the Ottoman Empire, after World War I. Gandhi believed that Hindus and Muslims should work together for India's freedom. He supported the Khilafat movement, which helped bring the two communities closer. This unity was very important for India's fight for freedom. By 1920, Gandhi had become the most important leader in India's fight for freedom. He started the non-cooperation movement, which was a protest against British rule across the whole country. Gandhi asked Indians to 1. Stop buying British goods. Don't buy British clothes, tea, and other things. 2. Leave British jobs. Stop working for the British government. 3. Take children out of British schools. Don't send children to schools run by the British. Instead, Gandhi encouraged Indians to use Swadeshi things, which means things made in India. He even started making his own cloth using a spinning wheel and asked others to do the same. Making your own cloth became a symbol of being independent and free. This movement got huge support, and millions of Indians joined Gandhi's protest. However, the movement faced problems. In 1922, some protesters in a village called Chauri Chaura got violent and burned down a police station, killing several policemen. Gandhi was very upset by this because he believed in not using violence. Because of this, he stopped the movement, even though it was doing very well. In 1930, Gandhi started one of the most famous protests in history, the Salt March. At that time, the British controlled all the salt in India. They made salt very expensive by putting high taxes on it, making it hard for ordinary Indians to buy it. Gandhi decided to protest against this unfair law. On March 12, 1930, Gandhi and 78 of his followers started walking from his ashram in Sabarmati to a small village called Dandi near the sea. It was a 240-mile walk. Thousands of people joined them along the way. When they reached the seashore on April 6th, Gandhi picked up some salt from the ground, breaking the British salt law. This simple act became a powerful symbol of protest. The Salt March inspired millions of Indians to join the fight for freedom. The British arrested Gandhi many times, but instead of weakening the movement, his arrests made him even more popular. People saw him as someone brave who was willing to sacrifice everything. Each time Gandhi went to jail, more and more people joined the fight for freedom. In 1942, during World War II, Gandhi started the Quit India movement, demanding that the British leave India immediately. He gave a powerful message: do or die. He asked Indians to fight peacefully but with determination, saying they shouldn't stop until they got freedom. The British responded by arresting Gandhi and other leaders. People protested all over the country and showed incredible courage. The movement put a lot of pressure on the British government to leave India. Finally, after years of struggle, sacrifices and peaceful protests, India became free on August 15, 1947. Gandhi's dream of a free India had come true. However, freedom came with a sad price. The country was split into two nations, India and Pakistan. Gandhi was very sad about the violence and hatred between Hindus and Muslims during this time. That was the story of Mahatma Gandhi, a man who proved that you don't need violence to create change. His life teaches us about patience, truth, and never giving up. I hope you enjoyed learning English with this story. Tell me in the comments, what did you learn today? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that help you improve your English. See you in the next video.